I find it pretty ridiculous that Michigan can lose C.J. Carr, a big-time legacy recruit, Dante Moore, and all the other top five-star targets in a matter of a couple months. And it's an embarrassment that we can go from beating Ohio State, making the playoff, to not getting any five stars or any top 100 recruits really on our board. It's like an embarrassment to we do get the 3 stars and some 4 stars, and we get a lot of recruits. But we don't get any good talent. We get guys that take time to develop, and for 3 years, we're an average team. And it's like Jim Harbaugh needs to stop hiring guys that can coach and hire guys that can recruit. We have guys that can coach. We need recruiters.
Yeah, so you got 7 hard commits right now, only 1 in the top 100, Raylan Wilson, the linebacker, and everybody outside the 200 range, and 2 4-stars out of 7 commits. And again, you can win the Big Ten championship with a bunch of 3 stars, but you need 4 and 5 stars. You have to probably, I would say 2/3 of the class has to be 4 or 5 stars, mostly 4 stars.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, Northwestern's the example of how you can win and really compete in the Big Ten, but they compete once every 4 or 5 years.
Yes. You don't want that at Michigan. And they compete in the other division too.
Yeah, I mean, every year we have to play one of the hardest schedules in college football. And we go through so many good teams that, like, even Michigan State, a team we are one of our main rivals, obviously, like, they're recruiting better than us for the first time in half a decade, 6 years.
Yeah, it is kind of mysterious considering the breakthrough last year that Harbaugh recruited, as you well know, top 8 to 12 in the country, losing to Ohio State, not getting to Indianapolis. Then they get to Indianapolis, beat Ohio State, and they're not off to the best of starts. But we're 6 months away from National Signing Day.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan usually is a team that gets their talent later than earlier. It's just how they've always done it. But I mean, they're obviously it's out of the top 30 right now. So they're going to have to really do something incredible to pull themselves out of the hole.
Yeah. So is there anybody in particular that you're either pleased with or not pleased with on these coaching staff from a recruiting standpoint?
I think right now, well, previously it was Josh Gaddis, but right now, I think the coach that he's the worst recruiter on the staff and just doesn't show like that good of an ability to pull in good talent. Like, he's not a bad recruiter, but he can't pull in any like really talented players. Is the defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. Like, he's been here for a couple months, and Michigan keeps trying to get talent on campus, and he's the defensive coordinator, and he has not been on any of the big visits. He hasn't met with any big time recruits. He hasn't done anything to recruit anybody. He's the defensive coordinator. And our defense is our strong suit, and it's been that for 7-8 years. And he has to be better than the offensive coordinator and the second best coach on the team, and he can't even go visit recruits. Just wanted to make people real. I just want people to understand that Jesse Minter is, in my opinion, Jesse Minter was one of the worst hires in college football, because it's a sign when you won't go to when you're a defensive coordinator and you go to a defensive school and you won't go on any visits to see any players, or doesn't talk to that many other coaches, or doesn't do many press conferences. That's a little bit of a sign that you may be out of your league.
Would also be fascinating to know whether Harbaugh's addressed that with him.
I mean, he's been here for a couple months, and I don't know, Jim hasn't said anything about it. He hasn't even mentioned him really in anything, so I don't know what's going on, but I think it was a mistake to hire him. At least it's from my view right now.
Okay, Blake. Well, I appreciate the insight, because I didn't know that he was not going on recruiting trips or not, grinding as you have to do in recruiting. You've got to be a grinder.